Hey, brethren. Welcome to God View 4. I was with Jesus yesterday, and we met at the Forever Bridge. Jesus is tall, he's black, meaning he's brown. He's the color of a penny. He's my color, but his skin tone is shinier and darker than mine, a bit. Maybe like a shade darker or two. And his eyes look like a fiery furnace. It's like reddish magenta, and he has this beautiful glow around his head, his glory, and his smile is that of 1,000 suns, and his face, his countenance is purer than the purest water or the shiniest item, or anyways. He's dreamy. So he was wearing a white robe, and he always wears these extravagant belts. He wears a robe, like a long robe skirt thing to his waist, to his feet, and then over that is an overcoat. That's a robe, and it matches the bottom skirt thing. It looks like a long skirt, but it's not a skirt. It's like, the way that God described to me was the bottom half of his outfit is the bottom. It's a detached robe. So the bottom is like a long skirt, white skirt looking thing. It's like the bottom half of his robe, and the top is like his overcoat, which is like the top of his robe. Yeah, that's what he said. And he walks about without any shoes on. Usually it's can't really see his feet. It's his feet is shining with brilliance. But we embraced in a hug when I got there, because I studied him, and we embraced in a big hug, and I loved him so much, and it was fantastic. He said, "Hey babe, I want to show you something," and I said, "Okay." We went to an ocean in heaven, and this ocean looked like the ocean on earth, and except it was much more brilliant. The fish were unlike that I've ever seen, and the vibe of the place was very holy. And he took me on this boat. It's a brown boat, like those rowboats that you can row down like a big river with vests on. It was like that size boat, but it was small and had like 2 benches in it, and he was standing on it. And when we got on there, it started like moving, and so he had one of his feet on the seat and another one faced towards the sea, and it was like the boat was rowing really fast, and I was sitting down, and he was just like, and the air was just on his face. It was like he was pretending like he was a captain, and he is a captain, he was pretending he was a captain and just being silly and goofy and stuff. So he gave me a present. He turned around and he said, "Hey babe, I have this present for you." And the boat stopped, and I got up and I was like, "Really? What is it?" And it looked like a bath bomb. It was purple, and it had like the craters that bath bombs have, just like a normal earth bath bomb. And it was the size of a golf ball. No, a tennis ball. Yeah, a tennis ball. And I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks. I love it. What is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's throw it and see." And at this point, I didn't know what it was, so I was like, "Okay." So he said, "Throw it as hard as you can, as far away from the boat as you possibly can." And I said, "Okay." And I threw it, with my right hand. That's my throwing arm. I threw it, and it hit the ocean, like, whoop, and nothing happened. I was like, what's supposed to happen? And then, boom, like a whole bunch of water, huge, like a building, like, just imagine a building, just any building, that was the size. The water just came up, like, up in the air over, like, it was really, really tall, and it just splashed, and it made my clothes wet, and Jesus was wet, but he did this thing where we were dry and instantly, but the bath bomb exploded, and the water just poured everywhere, and it was so cool. It was like a spout. It just went up and then down. I said, okay, this is cool. Like, he said, you know what I just showed you? And I said, no. He said, this is my heart. This is how I feel every time I look at you, every time I'm with you, every time I see you. And I was like, oh, and I was like, really? Okay. So, I mean, I was like, oh, okay, wow. It was really great. I was like, thank you. And so we went to this place in heaven. It was like a cloud area, but there weren't any clouds around. It was just like a white floor, and that's it. And then we were overlooking, there was the planet, and then there is the sun, and then there were other planets, and we saw space, and then if you rotate your eyes, you can see some parts of heaven and earth. So, it was just like it's like when I move my eyes, I could span. You know how you could span a picture or a phone? Things would just move. But he told me to grab a hold of his hands, and I did. And I felt something in my physical body, because I was in heaven. My physical body was on my bed. My physical body started shaking. It started, like, not violently, but I got hot. I got uncomfortable. It was just a very odd experience. And it was then that I closed my eyes, like my earthly eyes, and I saw. It wasn't what I saw, it's what I understood. It's what I felt. It was, okay? It was like Jesus showed me the foundation of himself. He showed me the foundation of his makeup. Everything that is, right? The trees, the leaves, animals, metal, copper, everything that is him. Everything that is in him. He sustains everything. He writes the laws and makes the rules of the universe. And God showed me Jesus has a human form, but I closed my eyes and I saw all the intricacies of how trees grow only because he allows them, or copper sustains itself because he allows it, or the fact that you drop a pencil and it falls to the ground is because he allows that pencil to fall to the ground. Like, he makes every decision, everything that moves, everything that operates, everything that is solid, he sustains that thing with his mind. And I saw it like, I didn't see it per se, but I felt it like God was putting my spirit near his spirit, or attaching his spirit to my spirit, and opening my eye to the deeper things of his makeup. It was insane. I was gonna say it was bizarre, but it wasn't. It was trippy, and I felt like I felt amazing. I felt like everything in my whole world made sense. Everything in my life made sense. I felt this for like 5 minutes. And I said, "Can I more?" And he's like, "Sure." And he did the thing again where he took my hands and my spirit joined with his, and just the way that the sun is, he sustains it. The way that the Bible says that when the sea comes in and stops at a place, God tells that sea to stop there. And every time waves come in and out, the sea can't go past what God permitted that wave to be. And he does that all the time, every day, intricate, just mind blowing, like just the intelligence, the integrity, the power, and the fact that it doesn't bother him. It's nothing to him, meaning it's so easy to him. He's just like, just super unbothered by it. Like, it's like if God was a computer, it would be overworked. But he's just so intelligent, and he showed me that. To show me who he is, because I asked him to show me more of who he is, and I was wondering about how he sustains things. And he is everything. When people say that God is everywhere, he is everywhere. He is everything. And sometimes he permits things to happen, but his judgment is coming. His judgment has already came because of the way our nation is and nations around the world. But I mean, his final judgment, the clock is ticking. He's coming. And I'm sharing the story to share with you that when we come into his kingdom, we will know all there is to know about why the earth ended up the way it did. Not ended like it ends, no. Ended up the way it did. We will know everything there is to know about why things happen the way that they happen. We will not know everything about God because we're gonna have the privilege of searching that for all eternity. Woo! But all your questions will be answered, and God will show you in a very unique way. So what he showed me is just a shadow of what he'll show you and me when we come into his final light. I hope that encouraged you, fam. Be blessed.